Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the On the Map Challenge on Alma, Missouri. Today is April 3rd, and we are picking up right where we left off in the last episode. We cut this hay, and now we have run the tedder over it, and we raked it. Actually, Todd raked these fields, and I'm kind of following behind him with the round baler. We had a pop-up shower this morning, which kind of delayed some things, but it wasn't really enough rain to really soak the crop like I thought it would, so we were able to bring the rake out here. Todd just got finished as I brought the baler out of this field, so I was going to run the Magnum on the round baler, but since every other tractor has been occupied and we don't have another tractor really big enough to run it that's not overkill like the 8300, I had to put the 4250 on the round baler. So we're running duals with the baling setup, which at first I thought was kind of ridiculous, but now I am seriously liking the way this setup looks. But we've got to turn this field into corn ground. We got to break the planter back out and plant this field. We're going to do no-till corn in this hay whenever we get the rest of it up, and then we're also going to be breaking out our sprayer, and we're going to be running some pre-merge and liquid fertilizer over our corn ground and some soybean ground as well, and maybe even our wheat crop is going to get a little bit of fertilizer as well. So then it won't even be long until the wheat is ready as well. So yeah, we're looking pretty busy on the farm today, and we're going to try and get all this done and watch out for the tornado and the storms that are on the way. So looks like we have got a lot to do, and let's just go ahead and do it. So like I said in the intro, we've had a pretty interesting day here on the farm. We had some rain this morning pretty early. It rained for about 30 minutes, and that kind of delayed us just a tad bit, but we were able to come out here. Todd beat me with the rake, and I was busy working with the cattle. He came out here and raked all these fields, and then whenever I was done, he brought the rake up here when I brought the baler out here. So we've been kind of multitasking. I was working cows, he was working hay ground, and now I'm also working hay ground. I figured we'd have some rain into this afternoon, so I didn't even bother putting another net wrap in here or anything. I just got straight in the tractor and decided to get this hay up. But so far, pretty clear skies other than this morning, but the worst of the stuff is coming. We do have some storms on the way, and I will quickly show you that. Yeah, check this out right here. Oh, there are 2 tornado watches now for May 1st and June 3rd. So tornado is expected to start tomorrow at lunchtime. That's the worst chance of it. And then, yeah, storms throughout the day. So looks like what we need to do is bale the rest of this hay and get it in the shed before it flies off and lands in town or something somewhere. I've been watching the news, making sure everything's not, the end of the world, and they're calling for pretty bad storms, but for the most part, we should be fairly decent. I mean, maybe some power outages, that sort of thing, but as far as tornado goes, more than likely we'll be in the green, but we're going to be out of work for a day or two because we were supposed to get 2 inches of rain, so the corn is probably going to have to wait to be planted, but at least we can do is get the hay up and work on the planter, get some stuff sorted out. But today's agenda, April 3rd, we're getting this hay up. We're going to stick it in the barn, what we have left, so we're going to get in the Ford tractor. I'm assuming we're just going to stick it in the 3-sided shed, but we're probably going to have enough to put in the hay shed as well. Or the pull-through barn. And then we've also got to give the cows some water. Since I forgot to do that this morning, I was tagging the calves and stuff, but I totally forgot to give them some water. So we're going to run the trough up, or we're going to fill the trough up. We're going to run the side-by-side out there with the tanker. And that should be about it for today. I need to go see what Todd's working on. He is very busy with something down there at the shop. I keep on trying to figure out what he's working on. Probably should just give him a call, but for right now, I'm not too worried. And also, since we're talking about this field and putting corn on this field, I think it'd be worth a mention that I'm just experimenting with, I don't even really know what you call it. I mean, obviously no-till corn. I've never done anything like this where I take a hay crop and then, plant something into it. Usually I disc it up, or I just keep a field reserved for hay and I don't ever put any other crop on it, but never have I taken it straight from hay and put another crop into it. So we're probably not even going to spray and kill this stuff. We're just going to drop the planter right down into it and see how it does. And if it's no good, then guess what? We'll go back to hay next year or another crop and we can fix the nitrogen. But for right now, all the yields and everything points to corn, and I think that we're going to have a pretty insanely good crop on our hands out of this field. Like, I'm looking at an easy 2,000 or more bushels out of this little field right here, which is, it's pretty nuts if that's actually going to be the case. I mean, that's a decent amount. But since we are going to be planting this field like later than the other ones, it'll be obviously ready to harvest a little later, probably into like later October, I'd say, because most of the corn we've already planted, it's usually done about September, late September, early October. If we're going to be planting this stuff about a month late, then obviously it's going to be ready to harvest a little bit later. So I hope that's not going to affect how the corn performs. I don't think it should. So we're going to see about that. I'm extremely excited to see how that's going to do. But as far as our other fields go, we haven't even really had any pop out of the ground, no emergence yet. So thinking in the next week we're going to start seeing signs of life, and then by mid-May it's going to take off. It's usually how it goes anyway. So we're going to have to see. I cannot believe tidying these fields up, I forgot to get this part over here to the right of me. So we're going to jump over there when we get this part cleaned up. Usually I bale the field in the order of how we're going to leave it. So I start up there at the farm and I work my way down to this corner so we can just pick the pickup and everything up and just drive straight down there to the next one. Obviously that's the case right now, and we have more hay ground. It'll be a little different order, but usually how I work all my ground is I start on the opposite end and work my way towards like the field approach, if that makes some sense. Just keeps us from driving across the entire field, and I mean in this case not a big deal, but it can be a little annoying. There's actually a good bit of hay in this field. I think we got about, let's see, 25 bales out of this field, and we're not even done. So we got 24 last year in the first cut, so we're looking at so far a single bale increase that I'm gonna say, just take a guess, we'll get 2 more bales out of this. So an increase by 3 bales of hay. Not even bad at all. Well, there's one right there, and we should have enough to spin around and get one more, maybe. That's the hope. And it looks like after we bale our next field, we're going to have to put some more net wrap in the baler. Like I said, I totally forgot to do that, so we are running kind of low, but for right now we're doing good. I think you can actually put out about 140 bales on a roll of net wrap, so not bad at all. We're looking pretty good with that. It keeps us from having to fill it constantly, because that stuff is not cheap at all. And then this should just about do it. We just spin around one more time, and that should give us 2 bales, hopefully, or we're going to have to unload early. And I figured a little in-cab action would be pretty sweet as we wrap this field up and head down to the next one. This needs to give us 6% right here. Pretty sure it can do it. Oh, so close. So close. We're going to unload it early. Missing 2% though, it's alright. Alright, that is 27 bales right there. An increase by 3. So, you know what? Not even bad at all. For the little amount of field work we did, I mean, we just put some lime and fertilizer out on here. Gave us an increase by 3 bales. So, if I do the math right, that means we should probably get about 2 off of this field over here, an increase off of 2, maybe 1. We got 24 bales last year off of this field, and we got was it 9 off? Yeah, 9 off of this field. So if that kind of gives you an idea, we should get an increase by 2 off of this, so we'll be at either 10 or 11 bales. Either way, a lot of hay out here, so we're gonna get it all up and see how much it gives us. Probably should have reset the bale counter, but it's all good. We can subtract numbers when we get off of here. And this field has always been extremely bumpy, and this is no different at all. Check that out, we're already full. Let's back up and unload. Everything seems to be working good so far. Shut the hatch back. We'll get right back to work. This part of the field right here does have a little bit worse yield map. Closer to the field approach is like 125% yield. I mean, it is just cannot get better than what it is. It is awesome. That was a perfectly executed turn right there into our second bale. So that's 2 bales almost around the field entirely. We've got about let's see, what is that? Maybe 100 feet to go right here. So almost 3 bales around the entire field once. Or actually, hang on, we might end up getting another bale right here with this huge pile. Oh, so close. Alright, so yeah, we're looking at a pretty solid crop here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is looking really nice. I mean, honestly, we'll kind of count that as 3 bales since we were so full, so not bad. I think we only got 1 bale when we went around the headland passes last year, so an increase by 2 already. That's something. These rows are almost wide enough to just go every other, but we do have to kind of skip on this field since the tree line is so close. And Todd did a marvelous job raking. I mean, I'm serious. This is, well, obviously, you know, I said an AI worker whenever I say somebody else, you know, does the work for me, but you know, in all reality, Todd did it. But you know, you guys know. And this is the best I've ever seen a worker rake a field. I believe I did course play to do this. I mean, it did a pretty fantastic job, so figured out to brag on Todd, if you know what I mean. He raked so good he broke a wheel, so yeah, that's something for sure. That guy's a mess. At least he got it done before the rain came in. There's bale number 5 already. We're about halfway done with the field, or hang on, we ain't even halfway done with the field yet. I'd say about now we're halfway done with the field. Just kind of depends on how many rows we've been down, but now we're halfway with 5 bales made so far. Looking really good. You know what? I might even dare to say that the 4250 kind of pulls this thing a little better than the Magnum. Not even kidding. Maybe it's because of the duals a little more stable, like we haven't added stability on these hills and little slopes. But you know what? I am absolutely digging this. And plus the green on green combo, man, it just looks a whole lot better than red and green. Just my opinion. I think if we had like a bigger Vermeer baler with that Magnum, that would look pretty sweet. Especially if we had duals on the Magnum with a Vermeer baler. That is the ideal baling setup, but for now we've got this, and this is doing wonders. But yeah, seriously, I mean, this tractor does pull this a little better, maybe even a little faster too, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm not complaining. I mean, this is awesome. We have got these fields done lightning fast. We're almost done with this one, and I think we're at the field number of bales we had last year. Need to count in 1 second. I don't want to open my monitor yet. I want to surprise myself. And we got this little strip of hay right here, and then we're done. I mean, we've obviously got a bale that's not fully made yet, so we can go ahead and unload that right now, and then we'll pull forwards and count how many we have. Looks like we've got about 9 bales again, so not even an increase, which is kind of strange unless I miscounted. Or no, there's 9. That's kind of odd. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, it's only a 1 acre plot, so I'm not complaining, but I figured we'd get a little more off of this field. Maybe not. Maybe the fertilizer and lime and stuff never did as much of an impact as I thought it would, or we just got more off of this field because it's bigger. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to figure that out, though. That's kind of strange. There's definitely a lot more hay on the ground. I mean, the stand was a lot thicker for sure. I noticed that myself. So now we're going to head back up here. You guys are going to see a very messy yard. We have so much equipment sitting out. I left the Ford tractor sitting out with the tedder on it, so we got to put that up. Whatever in the world Todd's doing, we got to put more bale wrap in the baler, so I'm going to leave this sitting out as well. All the shed doors are open. Oh man, I mean, not looking the greatest right now, but hey, at least everything's here. Okay, what in the world is going on right here? What is Todd doing? Looks like he is fixing a wheel on the rake. So let's pull this over here. I need to let's see, how do I open the thing? Yeah, there we go. All right. So I need to turn the tractor off as well. Okay, so the cover door is open. We're going to throw some net wrap in there since we're missing a roll and we're pretty low. Todd is fixing a wheel. I don't know which one he did. Oh, it's this top one up here. I can tell. Sweet. That is looking pretty awesome. He needs to move this out of the way. But for right now, I'm going to let him do that. Get done. If he wants to, he can put more net wrap in the round baler. I'm going to put the Ford tractor, or no, not the tractor up. We're going to stick the tedder in the shed, and then we're going to get the bales up right now, straight out of the field. Even though we did just get a little shower, you guys would be pretty surprised at just how dry it actually is. I mean, it is 62 degrees, and it is pretty humid out here. So for right now, I'm going to stick the tedder about there. That'll be fine, I guess. Should be out of the way as much as I'd like it to be. Now we can head up here. We can get these bales up. I have no clue where we're going to put them at. I mean, obviously we've got a spot empty right there and some at the front of the shed as well. We'll just do this the old-fashioned way. Go up and down the field, grab two. Try not to bump them into each other or miss the spear. And we'll spin around and take them to the shed. I am getting really good at this. I've done it so many times. And I think we're going to fill this part up first. That's slap empty, but we'll keep feeding with the hay that's already in there. Alright, there's first two in the shed. We'll back out. Looks like we can fit 4 right there, 3 on the middle part. Yeah, we got plenty of room to stick a bunch of these in here. Then what doesn't fit, we'll probably end up stacking in this shed. We do have to clean up that pile of straw bales, and it keeps on falling over, which I don't understand why, but looks like I'm gonna get to stacking. It's gonna take me a good while to get these bales up because as you just saw, I'm not perfect. I'm still having a few technical difficulties loading hay, and I've been away from my computer for about a week, so I'm just getting back into the hang of things, so bear with me. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys in just a little bit. We'll get most of this field done. We'll go hook up to the wagon and get the bottom field loaded on the trailer and put in the barn as well. So yeah, I'll see you all then. And okay, so that is everything done for today. I just decided to put all the hay up off camera. Here it is. We're going to talk about it in just a second. We also did some equipment sorting around the yard, so thank you, Todd, for that. I really appreciate making some of the implements out here look really nice just out by the fence line. Now we moved the tedder out here. What else did we do? Rakes out here, manure spreaders out here, and we put the disc over next to the chisel plow, and we sold the cultivator. So the cultivator is no longer with us. We've just got this chisel plow and the disc. So yeah, big news there. We made a little extra cash off of that. That's why the money has gone up about $3,000. But we put all the hay up. We never even got the wagon out. We just decided to use the tractor to get all of it up. So it was just a lot of repetitive back and forth, 2 bales at a time. I'm sure you guys would have just rather have seen the end result. So here's all the hay. There should be about, oh man, I don't even know how many bales are here, but we did a triangle kind of pattern where they're in 3s like this, and it looks kind of funky because we can't fit more hay in the middle right here. You know, usually a stack would fit another row like right here, but the wooden post is in the way, so we never got to that, but they are here like this, so it's gonna work for now, and it keeps us from having to fill the other shed up with hay, the pull-through barn. So yep, so we put the tractor up, got all of that done. We organized the yard a little bit, just kind of put some equipment where I think it should go. We put more twine in the round baler, which I mean, I guess it didn't really need too much. We just put an extra roll in there, and then also Todd was pressure washing the Magnum off, which is why it was up here so long. I didn't even realize that. Or not just the Magnum, I think I already mentioned that. He was cleaning off some other equipment. But we moved the skid steer in here. I think it just kind of fits better in here. We moved some of the implements to kind of make some more sense. If you see what I'm saying, like it kind of keeps it a little cleaner, and the way we had the square baler in this corner, we kind of had to back up to it real awkward. So we moved some stuff around. We brought the wagon out here, tidied up this stack of straw bales, which I think looks a lot better. Magnums in here. Everything is where it needs to be. So yeah, this is end of April. Kind of some spring cleaning, I guess you could say. That's a pretty decent word for it. I'm about to head up for the night because we don't really have anything else to do. All the equipment's put up. The hay is off the field. And honestly, I'm really curious for tomorrow. I'm a little worried, actually. I keep watching the news and checking my phone for the forecast, and it says it's going to be pretty bad. So around lunchtime is when it's supposed to start here. Probably just some heavy rain, and then severe thunderstorms are going to work their way in. So for now, that is everything done. We've just been kind of tidying up. Not a lot you can do right now. So as soon as these storms pass over, we're going to kick into overdrive. But I will see you guys tomorrow, and we're going to figure out if we need to take shelter or if we can work in the rain, or yeah, what in the world we're gonna do. We'll figure that out tomorrow. So yeah, I will see you guys on May 1st. Alright everyone, it is May 2nd, and we kind of skipped a day or two, I guess, because May 1st was filled with rain and storms as expected, but all my footage got messed up, and there was no audio, and my mic wasn't working in it. So I'm not really sure what the deal with that was. This is a totally new day of me recording, so hopefully this goes a little better than it did yesterday. But in the game, in May 1st, we got tons of rain. I think they called for 2 inches, and that's about how much rain we got. It rained from about 9 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's still kind of damp outside. I was out surveying some of the property in the truck down the dirt road, and I've been riding around the fields in the side-by-side, just kind of looking at any damage, because we had about 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Some trees are blown over down the dirt road, but for the most part, all the fields and everything looks fine. Corn's just now popping out of the ground a decent bit, so it's not blown over or anything. And then we also gave the cows some water, which surprisingly their trough was about empty after all that rain that we got. So, you know, I'm not really sure about that, but they've got water now as well. So, but as far as the storms go, we did have some thunderstorms roll through all day. There was a severe thunderstorm. The power never went off or anything, but there was a tornado that touched down about 10 miles south of here. And as far as I know, nothing really happened here other than hard rain, heavy wind, and some really damp ground. So no hail or anything. Tornado sirens never even went off in the town. So honestly, I'll take that as a win. Now there is some more coming in the forecast, so we're going to try to beat that, which is what today's all about. As you can see, there's rain in the forecast coming, but we do have some more stormy weather on the way into June. So we've got to get our field planted, the last of our corn. And then after we do that, we're going to spray some liquid fertilizer on our corn ground, because it needs it, as well as there's a wheat field, I believe, but the soybeans don't need any extra fertilizer. So we're just going to be putting some fertilizer with a sprayer. We're going to top dress our corn. So first things first, let's grab a tractor to plant with. And honestly, given the conditions outside, I'm kind of thinking we should use the 8300. Just because of the front wheel assist, and it's a little beefier, I think it'll probably pull this planter a little better than the 4250 will. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're going to give it a shot. Also, I would like to get the GPS going in the tractor, because there's a monitor in there, so I want to set that up as well. But for now, I'm going to pull the tractor. Let's just stick it over here in the grass, probably, I'd say, out of the way. Park it in the shade under this tree, about right there. Should be fine, just to kind of keep it out of the way, because we're going to probably use the sprayer on the 8300 as well, so we'll use both attachments. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to be planting corn into hay ground, which is no-till. I have never messed with no-till corn before, so I'm sure I might do some things wrong. That's bound to happen, obviously. But we're going to pick it up, and we're going to head outside the shop and see if we can't get this set up. And there's already some corn seed in the planter, so we do not have to load any. We just put some in, or no, we left some in here from last time because we didn't use all the corn seed. So yeah, here's our field. This little, I want to say it's about 8 acres, 10 acres, somewhere in there. We've been cutting hay off of this, and I have decided to put corn in the ground right here. So we are going to get the planter set up. I don't really know if I should do headlands or not. Let's set the GPS up real quick, actually. Let's do, I think 90 degrees is probably going to be the best for this. Go straight up and down, and then 2 headland passes. Let's try that and see how that works. I guess we'll just set it down right here and start. Hopefully this don't fail me. Let's hope not. So yeah, as I was saying, I have never experimented with this before. This is my first time ever doing this. I've seen a lot of people, especially in my area where I live, I've seen a few people cut hay and then they plant something right onto it. I've even seen some cotton done that way, and soybeans most commonly, but corn as well. So figured I'd try it, and I probably need to pick up the planter on these tight corners like this. But I was honestly debating on running the disc over this, but the more I thought about it, I really just wanted to see how the planter does on no-till ground, like if we just plant straight into it. And obviously it's starting to grow back, but the hay is not really tall, and we've got row cleaners on the front of the planter that is going to get the trash out of the way for us. Like, it's going to kind of destroy some of the stubble of the hay, and it'll just get stuck right in the ground. I mean, you can kind of see behind us, it's got a really nice kind of just destroy texture there. And I'd also thought about spraying the hay off to kill it, but honestly, this could work as like a cover crop. Didn't even think about that until Todd kind of was talking to me about it. We could use this hay as like a cover crop and just plant straight into this. And I was like, you know what, that is not a bad idea, honestly. So that's what we're doing. We're going to give it a shot, see how it works with us. I mean, the hay should probably be a little taller, but it's here through the winter, so it technically kind of is a cover crop. I keep on picking up the planter in every one of these corners. I probably need to just kind of send it through, but I'm scared I'm going to plug the wheels up with how muddy it is out here. I mean, it's not that bad, especially in this field, but I feel like a field of just dirt would be pretty muddy, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm extremely interested to see how this is going to do. I don't have any idea, and what I would really like to do is compare the yields we get off of this field with some of the other field information and like soil sample and stuff. Kind of compare similar soils with similar nitrogen and pH scale, and try to compare and see if putting corn on corn yields better, or if doing something like this yields better, or if rotating it out with corn and soybeans would yield better. If you see what I mean, I'd like to do some tests and kind of figure all that out. So this is kind of a test field, but it's also not, because I just really want to try this and see how it works. But if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments, because this is my first time trying this, just no-tilling straight into hay, and I like it. Honestly, this is pretty cool. I do just enjoy switching it up every once in a while, and there's not really any harm in that, because if you do something like this and you find something that's more beneficial, well, then you did yourself some good. And you know, sticking to the same rotation over and over again, I think that could kind of get a little repetitive, and I think that could end up harming the soil maybe a little bit. So if we stick some new stuff in here, honestly, that could probably help our yield. And if we don't like this, then we can always just switch back to hay. We can just drop the drill down on this and no-till some hay. I think that's how that works, probably. But regardless of how the corn ends up looking, this is a sweet setup. I think the 8300 on this planter was an awesome idea, not just because of the front wheel assist, but it's just such a nice tractor. The 8000 series is one of my favorite tractors. It is such a great looking rig, and then you fire it up with a 3-point row, or an 8-row 3-point planter. I think this is a nice looking setup, honestly, and it's pulling it perfectly. I mean, the 4250 never had any problems pulling it, but I just figured the front wheel assist would help us out a good bit, and it is. I can tell it's wanting to pull these hills a little better, whereas the 4250 would kind of slip. Like coming up this hill on my right here, it would want to, I don't know, it just wouldn't pull it as good as this does. It kind of wants to fall back down the hill, if that makes some sense. It's like the planter's way too heavy for it, but I know it's not. And also, I think GPS is rolling pretty nice. I haven't had a problem with it yet. We have never planted with this tractor, so I was a little curious to see how GPS setting up would be, but it's really not that bad. It's taking these end rows kind of crazy, so I'm having to do a little bit by hand, but there's nothing wrong in that. And we've even got some monitors in here. We've got a Kinsey rate monitor, so that's doing that's perfect for the planter. It's showing us the seed rate, and in the top left corner, I guess that's precision farming, we're looking at a variable seed rate of 8. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means. I have noticed that with different soil types, it puts out different amounts of seed, so we actually use up more corn seed in the soils that are like sandier. Now, I don't exactly know how that's supposed to work. If we're planting corn and we're putting the seed out is it 6 inches apart, I guess, and see, now it's up to 10. So I'm not exactly sure what that does. Once again, if you guys know what that means, let me know. I probably need to do a little research, but the seed rate is looking alright. I mean, this planter doesn't blow through seed either, so that's good. And yeah, I'm just digging being out here, really. I do enjoy this a lot, and we're not really planting late either. I thought we would be closer into June planting our corn, but no, we are sitting at a good date to be planting. I just hope it doesn't flood the corn out, and it actually takes, because with all this rain in the forecast, this is a really dodgy move. It's extremely risky doing this. So hopefully it pays off. I'm counting on it to pay off, and it would honestly be even better if this was our highest yielding field of corn. That would be something. I'm really looking forward to that. So we're gonna put some nitrogen on this field as well. We'll probably get the sprayer out, the spreader. We might put some dry fertilizer on this field right after we finish planting it. That could help. Or we'll just put pre-emerge out and side dress it through the summer, which we're going to do that anyway. But like I said, I'm just kind of trying some new stuff, see how it would work. I've been doing some research, and at this point I kind of sound like an agronomist. So, you know, if anybody needs some assistance with soil samples and whatnot, I'm the guy to call. Not actually, I'm really just the guy stuck in the cab of a tractor planting the corn, and then the guys come out and tell me what I need to do and don't do. So I'm expanding my knowledge on stuff like this, though. I do enjoy that. And then this right here is the last of our headlands. I usually just do 2 so that the combine can have plenty of room to turn around. So that looks pretty nice, and I guess we're just going to come out in the middle of the field and just make a pass down straight through the middle, because I have an idea for something I'd like to try on this field. We're going to back up now. So because that tree line is down there and it's kind of tight, this tractor doesn't have the tightest turning radius ever. I mean, it does, don't get me wrong, but compared to our combine, it is a lot different. So I am going to send a pass down through the middle, and then we're going to do like we do when we cut hay. So I'm going to go through here, turn GPS on, and then I'm going to come to the left side, come down the field on my left, and then come up the field on my right. So we're going to hit both sides of the field. We're going to split it in half, and then we're going to go on either side of this pass, if that makes sense. So we're not making super tight turns at the end of the field and tearing up the soil just by spinning around. And I feel like skip rows could probably do the same exact thing, have the same result. But I'm switching it up. You know, let's try something a little different. Alright, and then at the end of the field, we'll pick it up and try not to destroy the dirt too much. I need to be kind of careful. My ruts are deep. I didn't actually realize just how muddy it was out here. It's still pretty damp. Haven't had any problems with the planter yet. No wheels have closed up, I don't think. Haven't even had a row that's not planting. Alright, there we go. Now we'll spin around to this side, and it'll probably line us up perfect. There we go. Yeah, that right there is what I wanted to do, and I think that is going to be the best bet for us. And it honestly might make the field go a little faster. So I think that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the field. And check it out. There is a deer up there on the top of the hill. I've been seeing a lot of wildlife around here recently, especially deer. When I first moved into Alma, I didn't see that many, but now they are getting pretty comfortable, just kind of coming out. He's probably trying to find some seed in the ground before it's all gone and turned to corn. But yeah, just a bunch of does. Still haven't seen a killer buck, but I would like to have a wall mount in the shop, so I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for this upcoming deer season. But a lot of does around here, so I guess that shows some sign of life. That's not all bad. We just don't have that many woods around here for them to be kind of hiding in, so I'm not really sure where they're all coming from. They should be kind of scared of me the way I've been chopping all their tree lines down that they hide in. I didn't even really think about that, but as far as I know, that is probably number 4 I've seen this morning. So yeah, this is looking really nice. Check this out. I can't really get over how good this looks. It's honestly doing a really nice job. I'm not sure if that's the row cleaners tearing the grass up like that, but it is doing a decent job of getting the stuff in the ground and getting the hay stubble out. I also am noticing that the dirt is a lighter color right here. I'm not sure if that's just the soil type or if that's because of the grass that was on top of the ground, and it's just kind of like the roots and what do you even call that, like just a mess of grass and stuff mixed with the dirt. That's probably the case, but I don't know. I think it looks pretty nice. Alright, now we're going to pick this up and head over here again. I think this is working a little better than I thought it would, and it keeps us from having to back up and readjust because we can just kind of line up while we're out at the edge of the field and send it on straight through, if you see what I'm talking about. That's really handy. But I am going to be a little bit sad to park this planter for the remainder of this year. I enjoy planting just as much as cutting hay or cultivating or anything, combining. It's, again, one of my favorite parts. I mean, you just have to love every bit of it, and I do. I really do. I do think that an upgrade to the planter could happen soon, though, because an 8-row, as we expand our acres, is, oh man, it's taking a while. But I do enjoy this planter a good deal, like I talked about in the last episode. And there is the variable seed rate, like I was talking about. It's on 12 right now. It's in the red. So I have no idea what that means when it's telling me that. I really don't know. I should definitely look and see. Hopefully that's not a bad thing. I don't think it is, but I don't actually know, so I don't know if it's bad or not. I guess all it really means is that we're putting more seed in the ground, but like I said, I don't know how that's supposed to work if we're planting a corn seed out every 6 inches, so go figure. And I just checked my phone, and it says that the rain is not supposed to start until 6 o'clock, so we have plenty of time to get this stuff in the ground. And the shower, or it's just a little like pop-up shower, it's only going to last for about an hour, so we should be good. They're not even calling for like any rain hardly at all. There's like 1/10 of an inch, so I'm happy with that. I mean, we can use the rain, but the way the upcoming week forecast is going to be, the way it looks like, a lot of rain, like torrential downpour. So it's just that time of year, I guess. Always late April into May, we have so much rain, so I guess that's the same here. And can't complain about rain, but like I said, it's just so much. Alright, so now I'm going to just spin around and get this part of the field done first, since the other part of the field is kind of a ways over there. So I'm going to take this turn kind of slow. Oh, we are tearing the ground up. Alright, bad idea. Definitely should not have turned so sharp. Oh man, this is, oh, it's a lot muddier than I thought. We are good though. We're going to scale up to the top of the ridge right here, and then we'll clean up this part of the field, hop over, and we'll get this other little section I missed over here as well. And then we'll be out of here, and we can go pick up some liquid fertilizer because we need some, and I need to call Todd and let him know that we're going to be spraying so he can bring the tender out here to the fields. And then yeah, I'll hook the tractor to the sprayer, and we'll go put some liquid fertilizer out. I did put that tank in the tender that was under the shed, the shop, whatever. There's that barrel of liquid fertilizer. I filled the tender up the other day. Completely forgot to mention that. So we've got about, I don't even remember, I think it's like 2,000 liters. We've got that we can use as well. Fertilizer is so expensive, and I'm trying to save a little money, so I don't actually know how many we need to buy. I'm going to have to wait and see when we get down to the store. Looks like we've got a little bit of a row of shame, so I'm going to have to come all the way down here and grab that. But I'll probably end up cleaning this end of the field up and then coming down to here to get the rest of the field. So I'll do everything in a order, and then let's see, when we get right down here, instead of going all the way down, I'm probably going to pick up the planter, and I'm going to just turn around, and we're going to grab this and then come back to where we were to save our spot going down the field. Probably a smart idea. So about like this, I'll just pick up where the row left off. Try not to interplant too much. This should get everything in this entire pass. I could be wrong. Looks like it will, so then we'll spin around and go back to where we started that pass down the field. Or no, we're going to have a tiny little miss spot right there, so we are going to have to grab that. I probably could leave it, but I'm a grab everything I can kind of guy, so we need all the kernels I can get. Alright, now we'll head down here, and I'm doing exactly what I said I didn't want to do, and that was drive across freshly planted ground, but it'll be okay. And we'll just line the GPS back up, and we'll finish this part out, and then we'll head down to the part of the field that is close to the pond over there. Not too shabby. We got this done in almost record time. Well, hang on a second. We've never planted this field, so this is record time. This is the fastest we've ever planted this field. Not bad at all. I do really like this field. And a bonus feature of this field, if you guys can remember this far back, to the ones that watched my series in Farming Simulator 22, this field was here in the last On the Map challenge, and it was actually 2 fields. So there was a tree line that separated them about halfway through. This was one field where I'm at right now, and it was kind of circular shaped. Hang on, I totally set the planter down too early or late. And so yeah, this was a field where I'm at right now, and then there's a tree line that started right here and it went across to the dirt road, and then there was another field over here that's kind of odd shaped. This field has gotten a little bigger in 25, but this field, I owned it and I saw everybody else combining it. It's to everybody else that was doing it on the map challenge, and I was like, you know what, that's actually not a bad idea. So I did the same, combined these fields, and it looked pretty much exactly like this. And then in the new version of Alma, the map maker has just decided to make it like this, where they're already combined. So I do enjoy that a little bit, and the field is a tiny little bit bigger. It's kind of hard to notice, but it's wider in some spots, and some spots it's a little different, but I think it is a bigger field overall. I don't know, I just think that's pretty cool. And this field in Farming Simulator 22 always yielded us good, so I figured I'd mention that and just say that I have a feeling this field is going to do some good in this version of the On the Map challenge as well, not just the previous one. So yeah, I'm still very excited to see how the corn's going to do, and I am currently waiting on samples from all the other fields so we can compare data. Alright, I'm going to pick up and get this part of the field one last time. I know I said I probably shouldn't do this, but I am. Just real quick, let's see, I'm going to go against the GPS lines. I'm going to do a little eyeballing and just kind of clean this up like I want to. Probably should not have come down this way first, but we'll give another pass down this side of the field, and then we'll just go straight up and down the rest. Alright, like that, and then we'll pick up and we'll spin around, try not to destroy all of the field, and we'll set it down right here, go straight as well, parallel with this part, or actually that's kind of more headland passes, so that's the same thing we're doing here. Now we'll spin around and grab this part of the field as well. Alright, that's looking good. Alright, now we'll come down here and finish this part out, and then we've got ourselves another cornfield. This is awesome. I think after this one we'll have 3 fields of corn, 2 fields of wheat, and 2 fields of soybeans. So we're looking like we're looking pretty good this year as far as field count goes. I think I'd already mentioned this, but we're somewhere around the 120 acre mark of arable ground. Not too bad at all. Or no, sorry, I think actual ground to like cultivate and stuff, not just land. Field acre is I think it's almost 100, so we are working with 100 acres right now, which honestly for year 2 of farming, it's not too bad, I don't think. But I think we own like 120, 130 acres total, but you know, some of the plots we buy is not the entire field as a plot. It's got some like trees and field and stuff, or like open field. Like this right here, when we bought this, we don't even own, or no, sorry, we don't own this field, but we own this huge just open expanse right there. And I mean, there's nothing really to do off of that. I mean, I guess we could cut that for more hay, but it'll say a certain amount of acres, but that's actually not the total amount, because some of it's just blank open space, not actually arable ground, if you see what I mean. Now that last little piece is the final part of the field, and we are done. Check it out. It looks awesome to just kind of look at everything at once. The entire field is planted in corn, and on the map the field is orange now and not green, so that is corn. And yeah, that leaves us with 3 fields of corn now. So I just said corn like 6 times, but I'm super excited about this field. Oh, we probably need to turn GPS off as well. Let's do that real quick. Alright, now I'm going to go park the planter, and we are going to get the sprayer out, and we're going to head to, honestly, I guess a field of corn first. We need to drive down the dirt road first thing, or maybe we should spray that field of wheat that needs some nitrogen in town, since we're going to be in town to go pick up some liquid fertilizer. Oh man, I just hope we do not spend a ton of money on that stuff. I don't know the order of how we are going to put the stuff out on our fields, but I don't think it matters all too much as long as it's on there. And we honestly need to give that planter a bath before long, but obviously we can wait a little while. All of our equipment needs a bath, really, not just the planter, so hopefully we'll have some time to give everything a little spray job with the pressure washer and clean everything off. But as far as I know, we're going to head uptown and buy some liquid fertilizer with, yet again, another amazing setup. I think with this tractor and planter combo, I've got it to where the outside dual is going to line up with the tire on the sprayer, and I thought there was a way we could kind of bring the axle in, but even after kind of looking around under here, I really do not know. So it kind of sucks that we're going to have a few drive lines, if you see what I mean. We're going to have 2 tracks, but hopefully with corn we'll be able to just go right between the rows. But something like wheat, it's got really tight rows, like 15-inch spacing, so we're not going to be able to do much with that. We're going to kind of trample the crops there. But I'm going to head to town real quick, pick up some liquid fertilizer, and I will meet you all at the field, and we will start spraying some corn. Alright, so we are finally at our field of corn. I have been all over the world, it feels like. I'm actually going to jump out of the cab of the tractor for just 1 second. So first things first, I went to town and I bought 2 barrels of liquid fertilizer. We filled this sprayer all the way up, and we also bought some soil samples for one of our fields, the plot, one of our newer fields, and that has taken a huge chunk of money out of our bank. So we're about broke. And then we also went and sprayed a field of wheat in town that needed some nitrogen, and then we drove all the way up down the dirt road to our field of corn that does not need sprayed for some reason. I'm guessing because we had soybeans on it last year and we put corn back on it this year, the nitrogen has been like replenished. But check this out, it is green. It is let's see, it's kind of spotty. It could use a little bit, but it looks good. It looks really good. And then here's our 2 fields of wheat. Sorry, I actually sprayed 2, not 1. I sprayed 2. I sprayed both these. And then 35 is soybeans, so it doesn't need it. 42 is soybeans, so it doesn't need it. But there's lines in it that are green. I don't know. So we're looking at field 31 has got to be sprayed. 41 could use some nitrogen, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'll probably put some out with the dry spreader later. And then honestly, before it rains, I think we go ahead and spray this field right after we plant it. Maybe that rain will soak it into the ground and kind of help. I mean, it's going to help regardless, but I'm talking about with the hayfield specifically. So yeah, I'm thinking we spray this field of corn 31 and then spray the field 33 that is also corn, but it is not out of the ground like this is. Hopefully that's a good thing. Really crossing my fingers, but we're going to give it a shot and see. So first things first, we're going to unfold the sprayer, pull into the field a little bit, kind of get started on our line best we can. I'm also going to open the map so I can see yield, and I'm going to kind of drive across the corn, which I should not do, and come down here and start on this pass, and we should hopefully be between the rows. Oh, that is awesome. That is really cool. Check this out. The rows are actually between the tires. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. This is slick. We've got an actually realistic spraying setup going here. So I'm going to reach the end of this. I'm going to kind of turn back with this because it is Farming Simulator, so I can play around a little bit. I'm going to come down here and we'll make a turn, and it's kind of blowing through the stuff pretty quick. We are burning out of fertilizer, so it's going fast. Probably should raise the boom up a little as well, I'd say. Alright, now we're going to go back this way up the field, get GPS set back up. Hopefully we'll be all good. I'm going to make passes up and down the field, and then we can come back and get the spots we miss. Still think the boom is a little bit high. Let's kind of lower it down as much as we can. Somewhere right in there looks kind of good. I probably should raise it up a little more, but I don't know. Looks good to me. We're looking at an almost perfect nitrogen count down towards the middle of the field. So we're going to get a good yield out of this field, it sounds like to me. Up towards the top of the field it's a little worse, but that's to be expected since the soil's a little off up here. Now we're going to go back over this to the edge of the field, try to get our line back up, but I don't know if it will. Alright, there we go. Now we can start down this way, and we'll probably leave that edge of the field over there. But I don't know, that is a good bit unsprayed. I just want to use as much of this as we can. So I don't know, I'll probably not worry about this end of the field, and when we get to the end we will turn around and head back up towards the field approach. Alright, and then to end this field off we'll make one more pass up through the middle, and this should be the whole field sprayed, I hope. We've got 29% to use on the next field. Oh, I did miss a spot down in this corner. Okay, we're gonna have to grab that. That's a lot unsprayed, but this is gonna help this field tremendously, I'd say. It's looking really nice. I'm happy with that, and we are putting a lot out here. You can see just how much we're putting up here in the top corner. It's a lot. My bank account is absolutely feeling it, I can tell you that much. Alright, there is that field done. We're going to head to the field we just got done planting and put 21% out on that field as well. I need to use every bit of this and make it count because we don't have a lot left and I do not really want to go and buy some more. So I'm trying to save as much of our money until we sell soybeans at least, just in case something happens. You know, rather be safe than sorry. I guess we can start right here at the end of the field where we cleared all these trees out. Probably need to pull up before I get in the trees. Dang. Hold on, let's readjust this. And we'll spray a little closer to the ground, I think, since there's nothing really going on. Need to be watching the yield map as well to see what's going on, but I think this is helping a good bit as well. Not as much because it's a different soil type. Alright, now we'll back up, get realigned for this pass as well. And there's really no right or wrong way to spray this field since there's no crop, so we'll probably just kind of go around the field over and over again because of how it's shaped. But honestly, I'm a little more worried about like towards the middle of the field. I'm not as bothered about like the field close to the tree line, because I have noticed that the crops that are closer to the tree line, they don't perform as well since, you know, there's not as much sunlight. It's kind of harder for them to get nutrients, and they're being over, what's the word? There's competition with the trees for like nutrients and water and stuff. So the crops next to the tree line always do a little worse, and the crops out in just the middle of the field will be your best ones. At least that's what I figure anyway. So I am going to run around the entire field anywho, but just figured that's worth a mention. It's like right here, I'm going to drive on straight instead of going down in that little spot, try to just get as much as I can. And then instead of turning down to that part of the field, I'm actually going to cancel my line and just go straight out here because we're not working with a lot. So I want to get the majority of the stuff sprayed on the field that, you know, is just wide and open out here, rather than worrying about the little spots in the field that, you know, don't need it as much. And then we'll probably have enough to come back and touch up. So for right now, this is looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel my GPS since I'm kind of doing this with my eyeballs. I don't really need to have a computer screen telling me where to go. And we'll finish the rest of this part off, and with a little bit 5% we've got left, I'll go and touch up the corners of the field. And then this should be spraying for right now finished. We are going to have to come back later and probably do a second application. That's a little bit of a tongue twister if you say it fast. Second application. Try saying it 3 times fast. I'm not going to say it, but you try it. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. But I would like to have some drop nozzles for some actual side dressing, because I don't even really know if you could call this side dressing as much, but it kind of is, sort of. But when I say side dressing, I really mean when you have like the drop nozzles or the Nutramax sprayers and you're kind of getting it down closer to the ground. So yeah, there we go. We are all finished with 1% in the tank, 90 liters in there. So we'll use that little bit that we've got in the tender trailer for next time. I told Todd he could just stay at home today since we're not doing that much. I got everything covered. He was perfectly fine with that, so he'll be in here the next few days whenever we start figuring out more stuff we need to do. But as of right now, this is everything done, I'd assume. And with the amount of rain on the way, you know what? I think we did this in a decent time. And having everything done, it's making me feel accomplished, because now we can just kind of sit on the porch, listen to the rain, and not have to do a whole lot. So I'm going to put the sprayer up, as well as the tractor and the 4250. We might have to give the cows a roll of hay. I'm not totally sure, but they've got water, so they're doing good. Try not to hit anything as I back the sprayer in here. I am getting really good at backing stuff in the shed, though. I believe we'll park it there, and then we'll fidget the tractor in this back corner in front of the drill, if it'll even go back in here. Something like that should be good. We'll turn it off. Now we'll go grab the 4250, stick it in here as well. Man, it would be really nice to detail all of our tractors up for fall harvest, or even next spring whenever we get the planter back out. I think that would honestly be pretty cool, just to have all of our tractors shined, washed, waxed. I was trying to think of everything at once, but yeah, I think that is something that Todd could work on, since he doesn't want to show up at work to help us plant or anything. He keeps on telling me he's got personal issues to deal with, and I don't actually know how many personal issues one guy can have, but he never tells me what they are. So starting to think he's wanting to lay out of work, that sucker. But don't worry, I got it all. I'm I know who the bigger man is working around the farm. So now we'll give the cow some hay, and I think that's going to be all of May 2nd, I do believe. Also, the calves are still not taking any of the straw, still not producing any of the manure, so I'm starting to think that it is a mod conflict or something I've got in here, but I did have a good friend of mine in the comments tell me that Giant Software has not fixed the manure, so that would not surprise me much, because usually I keep my mod list pretty clean, try not to have any conflicts with each other. So if anybody else has a answer to why the calf barn is not producing manure, I would like to know, because I still don't know myself. You know, usually when you give them straw, they start producing manure, and it could be because of the pile that I have out there or something. I don't really know. But as far as the cows actually go, they are hanging out. It's honestly about time I stopped feeding them, because they've got all this luscious grass they can eat on. But I will ride over here and check out the calves, see how they're doing. They should be doing alright. There's the bale of hay for the guys, or actually I guess I should say gals. Got a bunch of heifers in here. There's the bull right there. He's hanging out at the bottom of the pasture, like always, for some reason. Now we'll stop out and check on the calves. You can see they're all just hanging out in here. I don't really know. They're doing their own thing like they always do, just making a lot of noise. You can hear from the whole farm. And yeah, like I said, still no manure. So I'm not sure if it's because I've got this manure heap, so the manure will be placed out here when they start producing. But they still haven't used any straw either. So once again, like I said, I'm not sure. It could be a mod conflict, but somebody in my comments said that it is Giant Software who has not fixed the manure problem, if that's really what the deal is. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to keep researching. I just mentioned that because we bought that manure spreader and spent a dime on it, and we haven't even used it yet, so go figure, I guess. But as far as all that goes, you guys, I think that's all I've got for you today. It's been a hectic start to summer. It's not even summer yet, it's still spring. A lot of rain, a lot of storms, and a lot of stuff to do. Been keeping us really busy. Hopefully the storms will continue to pass over and we won't have anything bad like south of here, because it's actually storming about an hour away, storming right now. So I'm going to get in the house, I'm going to get supper started, and so yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next one.